It's safe to say that Susan Sarandon's love life is a typical example of what romantic relationships look like in Hollywood, with the exception of just a few. She has had quite a turbulent romantic life, one of which resulted in marriage and several close calls. One thing always led to another, and things never seemed to work out between her and her romantic interests. Fans sometimes lose track of her relationships, which has led to a host of speculations. Sarandon herself got tired of these speculations and has come out to clear the air on the situation of things. From what she said, we are yet to see the last of Susan Sarandon. Let's jump right into it. Susan Sarandon was born Susan Abigail Tomlin on October 4, 1946, in New York City. She was an internationally acclaimed American actress with a career running for more than 5 decades. She was appreciated for her versatile talent, intelligence, and socially aware roles, growing to become one of the most respected and longest-running Hollywood icons. She joined the profession in the early 1970s and very soon came into the limelight due to her immense talent and potential for personifying complex characters. During all these years, she has worked in different genres, be it drama, comedy, romance, or thriller, and got a number of awards for her roles, including an Academy Award, BAFTA Award, and Screen Actors Guild Award. Her big break in film came in 1975 with the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which later was to be known as a major classic in Hollywood, where Sarandon played the role of Janet Weiss, the gullible, innocent little girl who falls upon a world that partly shocks her due to its difference from her perception. Though the film received mixed reviews upon its initial release, it went on to achieve some kind of cultural appreciation and sealed Sarandon as the rising star of her generation. She went on to string together a series of spectacular performances in films like Pretty Baby in 1978, where she played the madame of a brothel, and also in the 1980 crime drama Atlantic City, which earned her first Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. One of the most memorable roles taken by Sarandon came in 1991 when she starred in Ridley Scott's Thelma and Louise. It is, as a matter of fact, the one film in which she starred with Geena Davis as Louise, a hard-nosed woman embarking upon a road trip that gets turned into a fight for survival. The film was critically and commercially successful, and her effort drew her a second nomination for the Academy Award. Her ability to add depth to her character and the portrayal of Louise as a resilient woman, full of emotional complexity, nailed her as one of the leading ladies of Hollywood at that time. In 1995, Sarandon won the Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in the drama Dead Man Walking, directed by Tim Robbins. She played Sister Helen Prejean, a nun who creates an intimate relationship with a death row inmate, played by Sean Penn. The film tackled redemption, forgiveness, and the morality of the death penalty, and Sarandon's performance was universally praised as one of her career-defining moments. With that much passion, strength, and even vulnerabilities, her portrayal of the character earned her wide acclaim and bagged many awards. Throughout her career, Sarandon has continued to take on various challenging roles. Other films in which she gave out good performances include the 1992 Lorenzo's Oil, about a mother whose small son is ill with some very strange, extremely rare disease, Stepmom in 1998, an emotional drama dealing with combined families, and The Banger Sisters in 2002, a comedy of friendship and self-discovery. She invaded television as well, with critical praise for leading roles in series such as Feud, Bette and Joan in 2017, and Ray Donovan in 2019. Susan Sarandon's personal life has further been in the limelight, particularly in regard to her association with Chris Sarandon. They met while attending college together in Washington, D.C., the Catholic University of America, and had been affiliated with the same theater group. It was in their shared fondness for acting and art that they found their way to each other. They married in 1967, and Susan, upon marriage, took Chris's last name professionally, becoming Susan Sarandon. During their marriage, they never had any child together, as they were both focused on their careers. Years into their marriage, some hiccups did occur in Susan and Chris Sarandon's marriage, considering how the two met. The stresses of their careers, coupled with building a family, eventually started to take their toll on the marriage, and they later separated, divorcing in 1979, but remained on good terms. Susan was very vocal about juggling her personal life with career aspirations at the time, and spoke of their marriage as a shaping experience that set her both as a person and an artist. Susan Sarandon's career and life did speak much about her strength, talent, and dedication to her craft. She always opted for those roles that were not the norm but went deep inside the human psyche, thereby earning her a place as one of the most respected actresses in Hollywood. However, the most dramatic relationship in her life was with Chris Sarandon, which, though it ended in divorce, was an essential part of her life since this was her first and last experience with marriage, and it contributed to her maturation process. Susan Sarandon still holds the limelight with her work, both in her personal and screen life, as an iconic figure in the world of entertainment. Susan Sarandon's personal life has been very dynamic and filled with a lot of complexities, especially as it relates to her romantic interests. She got involved in a number of romantic relationships, one after the other, tracing the rise and growth in both personal and professional realms. Subsequent to the divorce from Chris Sarandon in 1979, Susan engaged in various kinds of romantic affairs. Each had stories of their own, adding unique touches to Susan's life. Susan always gives credit to Tim for helping her grow as a human being and artist. Over the span of their 23-year relationship, which never resulted in a marriage, Susan and Tim collaborated on numerous projects, most notably the 1995 film Dead Man Walking, which Tim directed and in which Susan gave an Oscar-winning performance. The commitment of the couple was a show of respect and admiration for one another, as both became icons and were always standing up for one another. However, things took a turn when in 2009, Susan and Tim announced that they were separating due to the natural changes that took place within their relationships. However, the separation was amicable, and they have been, ever since then, committed to each other, not only through their sons, but also to their friendship. According to her, it is a gift, the way Tim came into her life, touching her life, and her career. After separating from Tim Robbins, Susan moved on with another man, Jonathan Bricklin, who was nearly 30 years younger than she was. They were introduced by friends in the early 2010s and became inseparable. The two were quite a known couple since they made big headlines regarding their age difference. As you can imagine, a lot of people got talking about the age difference. Susan and Jonathan loved their adventurous life, entrepreneurial explorations, and creative projects. Eventually, the two were drawn closer by investment in such business ventures as the Ping Pong Club Spin. Their romantic and private life grew alongside their business projects. Still, things later became cold between the two and resulted in the distance between them. By 2015, Susan and Jonathan had transitioned from romantic partners into close friends and collaborators. Her relationship with him is one Susan describes more as growth and exploring life, even when one has reached a mature age, and finding the beauty in those stages of life. Susan Sarandon has lived her life and been through relationships with honesty, vulnerability, and the will to learn and grow. Each of the partners she had represented one phase and played a prime role that pushed her toward being a better person, both in her personal and professional life. These love relations brought in a breeze of good fortune, mirth, and challenge, and colored every moment with many hues that make up her bright existence. The courage to handle love and family considerations without losing any of her personal independence and not being detached from her craft adds to Susan's drive for resilience. Nowadays, she continues to inspire not only through her works on screen, but also by sharing her life as a manual to some of the people in the industry who might be facing similar situations. Also, Susan Sarandon's life in the limelight has been filled with speculations and rumors, most of them regarding her love life. Throughout the years, many of her affairs have been speculated by the media and fans alike. However, none of them was ever supported with reliable evidence or confirmation. These are usually baseless rumors which sometimes eclipse her professional achievements and help build a story that Susan has found frustrating and invasive. Trying to alive private life, the constant rumors and speculation have time to time forced her hands to address these rumors directly, as in a candid 2014 interview where she openly talks about how she feels about love, relationships, and the burdens of living under the microscope. Perhaps one of the most relentless of these rumors of affairs involves Susan and her Thelma and Louise co-star, Gina Davis. The two undoubtedly exuded undeniable on-screen chemistry in the iconic 1991 film, which started rumors of a possible off-screen romance, but there was never any evidence to support such rumors, and both have constantly clarified that their relationship was platonic in nature and founded on mutual respect and friendship. Of course, further rumors linked Susan and David Bowie after their appearance in the 1983 film The Hunger. The sizzling on-screen dynamic between them created speculation, but neither party ever confirmed a romantic involvement, and no such rumors were ever substantiated. Susan was also romantically linked in tabloid gossip with the musician Sting. The two attended numerous events together, and their shared passion for activism and the arts convinced many that a romance was in the making. These never did materialize, and Susan has always said their relationship was built on a good friendship and shared values, not romance. Again, there were speculations about an affair between Susan and Richard Gere, an actor, in the 1982 film Report to the Commissioner. These rumors also were not backed by any evidence, but they would have been believable from on-screen chemistry and appearing together often enough in public. Eventually, all the speculations on her personal life got to Susan. So, in 2014, she had enough of the invasive rumors and opted to address them during an interview with The Guardian. It was one of those candid conversations where she spoke her mind about what, according to her, were her choices in relationships and how it is really a big deal navigating love and relationships in the public eye. Susan made it crystal clear that she had never felt the urge to conform to society or the traditional relationship standards. She emphasized the importance of authenticity and staying true to oneself, stating that she has never been interested in doing things the way people expect her to, and that she has always followed her heart, even if it meant making unconventional choices. Susan also talked about her past relationships during the interview and the lessons she learned from them. She admitted that love and partnership had formed important parts of her life, but maintained that they did not define her. She admitted to having been lucky to have had some incredible relationships, but I've never believed that being in a relationship is the only way to be happy or fulfilled. Susan went ahead to talk about independence and self-discovery. She said that these experiences she passed through taught her to move with change and growth, both in her personal and professional life. Susan kept addressing rumors in her interviews, which were by now running like wildfire over her personal life. She reflected frustration at how the media engaged in stories regarding her relationships, but not about work or activism. She pointed out that it is exhausting having always to defend or explain her choices in her 2016 interview with People magazine. She was more interested in talking about the causes dear to her and her projects, but it is like people were far more fascinated by who she was dating. Susan used these interviews to further counter cultural expectations and stereotypes associated with aging generally and also womanhood. She has spoken loudly regarding the double standard operative in Hollywood, whereby women are expected to behave in certain standards pertaining to both private lives and personal appearance when juxtaposed to their male peers. It's just nuts that people are so fixated on who I am dating or how I look, she told 8ARP, the magazine, in 2017. I have never been one to be governed by the conventional rules, and I'm certainly not going to start now. Throughout her career, Susan has stayed true to her vision of living life on her terms. She has never been afraid to take on such roles, which have challenged societal norms and brought complexity to the human experience, and with the same amount of bravery and authenticity, leaped into her personal life. Of course, the rumors and speculation at times drove her mad, but Susan never let any of them define her or dictate her choices. Instead, she used her platform to advocate for greater tolerance and understanding, both in Hollywood and beyond. Of late, Susan has thrown herself deep into work and activism, using her voice for LGBTQ+ rights, environmental sustainability, and social justice. She has kept close to her children, Eva, Jack, and Miles, and spoken candidly about the delights and challenges of motherhood. Through all the highs and lows of her personal life, Susan had never lost her keen sense of humor and a perspective that essentially is quite a vital part of why people love her. Susan Sarandon's road to fame really became the hallmark of tenacity, veracity, and self-willed determination. The trials of love, fame, and family she nobly and courageously carried are the reasons she stands to date as one of the most enduring, best-loved figures in Hollywood. As the rumors and speculation will most likely continue, Susan's legacy is defined not by who she has dated, but by the indelible mark she has left on the world through her work, her activism, and her unwavering commitment to living life on her own terms. Let us know some other interesting details you have about Susan in the comments, and we will see you in the next one.